I really, really, really like this handout to be used just throughout this entire treatment, right? Both formally going to this actual handout and informally too. Just referring to these as experiments to be tested, right? We're not going to have assumptions. Let's actually try it out. Of course, willingness, right? A commitment to do it. And for me, tying it to, my client's expressed values. This is often difficult to do. Why is this worth it? You're likely going to experience distress. This is going to be uncomfortable. Why the hell would you commit to doing that? Well, for Megan, this isn't just for me, right? This is for my daughter. This is for the life I want to live. I want to have more energy. Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so flexibly connecting it and again, collaboratively generating these experiments and running them and seeing what our clients come up with. All right, so that is handout 9 here on behavioral experiments. Let's now go to Megan and what we came up with here for the behavioral experiments throughout our treatment. So, one here, consistent with where we've been going throughout session 5, the belief to be tested: if I don't check on noises, I'll be too stressed to sleep. So the experiment to run here that she agreed to run over this particular week was agreeing to remain in bed, mindfully observe the noise. In other words, what do you notice about the noise? Its qualities, its characteristics, connecting with her present moment experience here, and also observing those sensations. So I'm going to be afraid. Okay, well, afraid is a noise that we make with our mouth, right? What about that experience would you be calling afraid or fear? And how do you know it's not disgust? Well, I mean, I might be shaking. Okay. Everywhere? No. Like maybe my arms. Okay. What else? Maybe increased heart rate. Okay. Sweating. All right. So increased heart rate, sweating, maybe a little bit of trembling, observing that in the moment, right? What's the intensity? Where is it at? How long is it lasting? Does it change, right? All of these things can bring our attention back to the moment and the noting here of the lizard skills, right? We talked about distress tolerance. We also talked about, for her, the paced breathing combined with that paired muscle relaxation seems to be quite effective. So going to that in the moment to tolerate that momentary distress, okay? And we'll just kind of skip ahead and give the punchline here. So what results did Megan take away? First of all, she ran this experiment. She was very proud of herself. I was very proud of her for all this effectiveness. This was really stressful, okay? And it was for her. However, or not even however, and nothing bad happened, okay? So nobody broke in. There was not a sexual assault there. And it was very, very stressful. So what new learning occurred there? Megan noted that she doesn't have to get out of bed. All in capitals. We spent a long time talking about these mental rules that our mind often give to us, and that she can actually choose. She doesn't have to be bossed around, by these emotions and these urges that arise. The notion of urge surfing, right? We can ride that wave in the moment, and then we can flexibly choose how we respond to these, arising emotions, these arising thoughts, these arising urges in those moments, if we can connect and kind of balance and connect with that inner wisdom and mindfulness in the present without getting too carried away and hooked by thoughts and emotions and related sensations there. Also, bad things may not happen without checking. So, remembering back, this is an experiment she had not run before. And so, here's some evidence. Well, at least on this night or these series of nights that she ran this, nothing bad happened then. And then this can just influence our belief, the likelihood that it may happen, and also our trust and our confidence in ourselves, how much control we have over our own behavior and responses, etc. Okay, and this isn't the only belief that Megan tested throughout our work together. There was also the belief that if I don't clear my mind or turn off my brain, I won't fall asleep. So this is a belief that was very early on in our work together. I believe it came up during the assessment session as well. And so the experiment was, well, instead of trying to clear your mind, right, to control thoughts and all that, what about just mindfully observing these thoughts? right? Again, bringing in that metaphor of dropping the rope. In this case, not trying to get in a tug of war with the mind to control each thought, having that open awareness. Megan also liked the idea of, laying on her back and looking at clouds, noticing formations. What if the mind is just this wide open sky, right? And thoughts are just clouds moving by, okay? Some of these clouds can be white and fluffy, right? Really pleasant, happy thoughts, pleasant thoughts, right? Others can be super dark, stormy. We don't want them to hang around, right? And the analogy here, the metaphor, even if it's really dark and stormy and there's lightning and thunder, what does lightning and thunder do to the sky? And for Megan, kind of reflecting a little, it was kind of puzzling at first, but then does lightning or thunder ever actually damage the sky? Does it rip it? Does it tear it? Does it scar it? And she's like, well, no, it's the sky is just kind of prior to that. And so this is this exploration of right, this mind, this awareness of what's occurring, the next thought, the next emotion, although unpleasant, just like an unpleasant looking, cloud or, thunder and lightning that can be very scary, the mind itself, our awareness itself, will not be damaged by this next arising thought, and really allowing it to arise and fall or to pass by like a cloud in the sky or arise and fall like a wave in the ocean. Nothing to be believed here, but this is going back to the fundamental core mindfulness skills, right, in DBT, and applying it here to sleep related thoughts, sensations, emotions, etc. So having that open awareness, dropping the rope to try to control thought, and we'll get into this later on with the purple cow as well. But okay, so this was the experiment. She did run the experiment. So the results, she put, this is still challenging as it's totally new, right? This is an ongoing practice. She did note less tension and she did fall asleep when she practiced this. So, what did she learn? Well, I don't need to control my thoughts, as we did kind of in session, practicing some of this, including the purple cow. I can't anyway, right? I can allow them to arise and to fall on their own with a smiley face. And then, as we'll see throughout this module in the sleep plan too, also this fear of the dark and being vulnerable in her bedroom and during sleep. So, the belief if it's dark when I'm asleep, someone will break in. Okay. The experiment here, Megan agreed to dim her room light and to keep the hallway light on for the upcoming week when we were doing this, right? So, not willing at all to have it be dark completely, right? However, the middle path, kind of gradual shaping here. I'll dim the room light. Let's keep a hallway light on. We'll see what happens there. And that can then influence potentially, future experiments here down the road. So the results when she ran this, so fear when dimming the light, but I slept okay and nothing bad happened. What she learned from this, I can sleep in dim light and no one broke in. She noted feeling proud of herself for doing this, gave herself a smiley face, and that she'll keep experimenting with this moving forward. Okay, so that is Megan and some of her behavioral experiments here. And as always, now let's go to our second case example, you. Okay, so go ahead and take some time to go through this handout. Perhaps there's a behavioral experiment or two related to your own sleep, as you've been going through the course that you can put on there, see how you'll test it out, run it, and see what you learned from that, whether it's sleep related or not, just to get some experiential learning here with designing and running behavioral experiments. See if there's anything else, right, in your life that may be applicable here to test out. Run the experiment, notice insights and observations that came from that. And then when you finish up with that, we will then go to our next lesson on mindfulness of thoughts, which will include practice of the process here of cognitive diffusion.